Welcome, everyone, to That Kind of Nerds podcast, a show that's telling you what is going on in the nerdy world. I am CJ Milland, and I am joined by only one co-host today, but it's the best one. I'm just kidding. It's Brian Thornton. Yeah,
I would love it if I was the host and you were the co-host. Like, you know, like we're both hosts, but like you're also a co-host. We can co-host together. I'm just saying you're getting a little big for your britches there, buddy.
You know what? Now that I think about it, since I am host and you're a co-host, my paycheck should be $2 more.
It should be $2
and your
more.
paycheck should be $2 less to reflect the change in title.
Exactly.
I think that's how that works. If you don't get the reference we're making, shame on you. Turn off. I don't want. No, you're not allowed to listen to this episode.
Why, she's the chief. Then.
You're the co-chief. Alrighty. We are here today to talk about a movie that dropped on HBO Max, but also went in theaters, but really you watched it at home, The Suicide Squad. Now, Brian, this is not Suicide Squad. This is The Suicide Squad.
I actually like to call it The Suicide Squad.
Oh, that's better. The? Is it the or the?
It's got a better ring to it. The Suicide Squad.
Yeah. I am excited to talk about this movie, but I fear that first what we have to do is I just need you to help clear up some logistics.
All right.
Is this a sequel? Is this a soft reboot? Is this a reboot?
It's a sequel.
It's a sequel.
Yes.
Okay. So if it's a sequel, why are we using the Fast and Furious naming nomenclature for this movie?
Don't ask me. Listen, I am not Warner Brothers. I have no idea why we're doing that. You know, it would have been just as easy to call it Suicide : something, right?
Suicide Squad or just Suicide : That's a very a different movie.
Suicide Squad : enter subtitle here. I'm not sure why the Suicide Squad is supposed to be different. I also like for some reason, like if we put a "the" in front of the title, the David Ayer Suicide Squad gets expunged from existence or something.
Yeah, I feel like
it doesn't.
I feel like it's someone trying to like do what's it called, SEO search. Like, all right, if we put the in front of it, if someone searches Suicide Squad, the new one shows up, not the old one. That's not.
I mean, with an SEO, the newest article is going to show up anyway. Here's the thing, like.
It's
a sequel.
Brian.
It's the thing.
Right.
The thing about this is it's a sequel because even very minor, a couple of things. We've established that the Suicide Squad is a thing.
Right.
It was not a thing in David Ayer's Suicide Squad.
Correct.
We saw the establishment there. So like it's a known factor, right? So we don't go through the whole establishment of Task Force X to begin with. Correct. But there's a built-in relationship between Harley and Boomer. The only way that would have happened is if Suicide Squad still was a thing.
Right, okay.
Harley Quinn makes a reference that, oh yeah, I'm back. I'm just doing a couple of these things and then I'm out. Making reference to the fact that she was out of prison in Birds of Prey. Now she's back and she's doing a couple of the Task Force X things. So like, it's clearly in the timeline.
Yes.
Whatever shitty timeline the DCEU has left right now, it's in there. So why? I'm just as confused as you are. I would have added a subtitle to this. I would have just called it Suicide Squad: The Jotunheim Conundrum. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't work for Hollywood yet, but
after this performance, I don't think they're going to hire you on that one. You could have come up with a better semicolon.
Give me some time, man. Like, come on. Like, I've had I've had golden ideas on here that should have happened.
Right.
B, I've predicted a ton of shit that has happened. So,
all right. So
I think I'm still in good standing.
So it is indeed a sequel.
It is indeed.
I also feel a semi-soft reboot, but definitely a sequel.
It's one of those, you know how like Terminator Dark Fate was a requel?
Right. Yeah.
It's one of those. Which, if you have to do a requel after the first movie, how bad was that first movie, right? Like, and listen, I don't want to shit on the first movie, but like, we're going to talk about this. It's going to be hard not to compare it to the first one, right? But
there's far less involvement in the studio in this movie, and they let James Gunn just be James Gunn. So what I want to get from you, though, is your first impression after watching the movie.
It was fine. I liked it. It was good. I watched this movie. I enjoyed it. I had some fun. I'm not sitting there saying you have to see this movie. I'm also not sitting there saying DC's turning around after this. They finally got something right. Like, I'm not saying any of that because it was good. I would never, honestly, I'll buy it because it was a good movie and it belongs on my shelf. But like, I'm not coming back to this like once every year and be like, oh, let's watch Suicide Squad again. You know, like
The Suicide Squad.
let's watch the Suicide Squad again. Like I do, frankly, again, not trying to shit all over DC, but like, frankly, the Marvel movies. Like every once in a while, I'm like, you know what? I am in the mood for a Marvel movie. Let's watch it, right?
Yep.
Every once in a while, I'm like, I'm going to put on Captain America Winter Soldier again because that's probably my favorite out of all of them. I don't see myself doing that with any DC movie, no matter how good it's been.
All right.
So
you ready for this?
You loved it.
I liked this movie a lot. I don't love it. I liked it a lot.
Okay.
I already rewatched it. I watched it twice already.
Wow.
I went back to it tonight, actually. Not just because we were recording this episode, but my wife said, I want to watch the Suicide Squad again. I'm sorry, the Suicide Squad again tonight. My wife said, I want to watch this again. And
so
when I watched when I watched it, I still liked it.
I don't ever think it's going to be one of those movies that you slowly lose fondness for over time. But we just had a conversation off mic about how my wife is not all into the superhero stuff either.
Right.
So, you know, I watched this by myself. I didn't have her sit through it. She was like, oh, how was the movie? And I was like, I actually think that she would enjoy it from a filmmaking standpoint. Because there are some very interesting decisions that James Gunn makes in this film that I was fascinated by. That doesn't make it a good movie. It just technically is very interesting to watch.
Right.
For me.
Now, I can see that there are problems with this movie, or just choices that are like, that's a bold choice.
It's a choice.
Right. I don't hate it, but like, wow, I would never have thought of doing that, and I don't know if I want you to do it again. Okay, you just stop right there. That'll be enough of that. But overall, I liked it, and what I really liked at the top, and this is where I do have problems with like Knives Out, and actually, well, now that I think about it, Rian Johnson. This is how a movie can subvert your expectations and not piss you off about that. This movie had a huge cast at the top, big name stars. These people are doing press for the movie, right? Nathan Fillion's out giving interviews for this movie. He's not even in it 30 minutes. And they just kill off Squad A right off the bat, setting up the fact that at any point, anybody could die because they killed Boomerang, right? They do all that stuff.
That's something that this movie does very well that the first movie didn't do.
Right.
Really at all. like you had that one random guy, I think his name was Slipknot, and you looked at him and you were like, that guy's going to die. And then 5 minutes later, he died.
The reason that you looked at him and said, that guy's going to die is, they didn't do the stupid card bullshit for him, the trading card stat. So they're just like, that's Slipknot. They're like, oh, all right, cool. And it's like, well, how come he doesn't get a whole flash of, because he's going to die. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then nobody else gets their neck blown, right? No one else gets triggered. So you're just
to be honest, cool. I saw that first half hour coming. I did.
Hoped it was happening, but I didn't think they would have the balls to do it, and they did.
I saw it coming, and then I had a little hope. So here's a couple things. Like there was a lot of people in that initial squad that I like. Nathan Fillion, withstanding. Nathan Fillion being one of them.
TDK,
right?
Yep. I love that Pete Davidson's face got blasted off for 30 seconds.
Yeah, but as they're going through these characters, I'm like, these aren't even D-list villains. They're villains in the DC universe. These are like bottom of the barrel.
Right.
You don't freaking put TDK and Javelin in your movie and think that they're going to make it to the end. So like I knew that they were all dead going in. And then I kind of secretly hoped so because I am not a fan of Pete Davidson.
Me neither.
And like I saw him and I'm like, gosh, I kind of hope this squad dies. And he's the first one to go.
Right.
So I was like, good. Not because, I hate Pete, but like, I don't have to deal with 2 hours of Pete Davidson because I don't like him as an actor, right? So like, but the thing that I did not see coming, because you looked at that squad and I was like, okay, every one of these people is going to die very soon with the exception of Harley, Rick Flag, and I thought Boomer. I thought
Oh yeah,
Boomerang
I
was
thought
gonna
Boomer
make
would be
it.
safe too. Yep.
Because the one shining,
Here's the crossover.
And the one thing that people were like, "Hey, Suicide Squad, this part of the first one was good." Was Jai Courtney as Boomerang
Yep.
was great.
Liked him a lot.
So I was like, okay, you save your big guns, you kill the rest, you set up very much that like anybody can die.
Yep.
And the fact that they killed Boomer, I'm like, oh,
anyone can
really
die.
Anyone can die.
And then the
right?
payoff for that comes in during the movie. A lot of the Suicide Squad B, right? Task Force SB dies, including Rick Flag.
Which really upset me.
But the thing was, while I was upset, I wasn't angry at the movie. I was angry at the
character.
I was angry at the characters going through it. Yeah. I wasn't mad at the movie because the movie set up that anybody could die. And when Rick died,
it's
because when I'm watching the fight between him and Peacekeeper, I'm not like, well, clearly Rick's gonna win. Like that's a done deal. And then when he loses, I'm like, oh, anyone can die.
Yeah, and it's that contract with the audience that every movie makes, right? Like, and this movie did it very well. In the first 20 minutes, here's this giant cast, and it wasn't this bait or switch. It was this is the contract we're making with you.
Correct.
No one is safe. Anyone can die. It's no holds bar. So after that scene, I was very much on edge. But like, in the back of your head, you have your favorites. And you're like, God, I hope they're safe. And like, you know what? I really like Rick Flag.
Yeah.
I think Joel Kinnaman is good in the role. And like, they even amped him up a little bit more in this movie. They gave him a little bit more humor.
Yes.
So, he was a little bit more human.
Yeah.
And they showed this kingship between him and Harley. Because they've been on the squad together before, and you're like, I really like Rick Flag.
And the reason that I also like Rick Flag in this, he doesn't have to serve as the narrator. He's not the guy explaining the world to you. He's not your guide. He's just a character in the movie.
But he's also not the guy who's got the stick up his ass.
Right,
like in the first movie, he was. And that's what really kind of detracted from his character was, I'm a military man, and we're going to do X, Y, and Z. We have to do the mission. Right. No, he's the guy who's like, we're going off book. We got to go get Harley.
And also, he also didn't have the wrist pad that he had last movie. That he could flip the switch, right?
Yeah, I love the fact that we put that responsibility solely in Waller's hand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which means when later on in the film, when they rebel against her for about to activate those things, that those people in the room had a say in it, and the team on the ground did not. It made that moment hit even more. It's not because someone could pick it up and turn it off. It was somebody in that room has to stand up to power. Someone in that room has to stand up to the corruption, has to stand up to what's happening. And it makes that moment hit even harder because you have to see somebody else have to take charge. And you see hints of that going on throughout the movie. So it does a real good job of setting things up and paying it off, and making it make sense in the world that you're in. I also want to take a moment to talk about another thing that was different between these two. And again, I know, but something that I really liked, which was,
let's just get it all out.
I can be introduced to a character without that stupid card stuff. I tell it in a story at a natural time, and I do it in a really nice, compelling way.
Sure.
And I get a backstory without having to have my Adderall next to me to watch the shiny shit that's happening. You can have a character tell me a good story, like Ratcatcher 2's story about her father and all that. I really like that.
And this really and just going to the technical stuff that I found fascinating. I do love when they show that scene and it's being reflected in the window on the bus.
Oh my God.
It's gorgeous filmmaking.
Yeah.
This film is shot beautifully,
yeah.
right? like, so, you know, if you don't like it for anything else, you can like it for that. But yeah, I mean, and you know,
I felt more connected to this crew.
You should have, like,
yeah.
But like, and that's the thing. Like, I had a conversation with someone who was very much like, I want to see these evil people doing evil things, and I'm like, I feel you, but you can't make this this movie. You can't do the Suicide Squad and make it very serious and make it very much about, you know, these evil people and still want to root for them.
Right.
you need to have somebody who is grounded. You need to have your pure spot so that if I like Ratcatcher too, because let's face it, Idris Elba is a wonderful actor and I love him. You don't like his character in this movie. You're not supposed to.
Right.
He's an ass. You know,
Yep.
He's just doing it to save his daughter. That is it. He is out for himself. He doesn't give a crap about the squad
There's
until
no
that
good
moment.
in me. Right, yeah.
And like Ratcatcher 2 is your way in, is your way to be like, okay, well, you know what? I want them to succeed because I want her to get out.
Right.
And I want King Shark to get out.
I was
King Shark
actually
is
into
funny.
Polka Dot Man too. I was like, I hope this guy, I hope he makes it.
I wasn't
He's
on
a
board with Polka Dot
stupid
Man.
idiot. But you know what?
He's a
This
poor
guy is
soul.
just, he's a poor, but he's just genuine, right? The guy, he's not putting on
Mhm.
airs. He's not like, I'm the worst around. He's just like, yeah, dude, I hope he do die. Like,
Yeah.
as a millennial, I
like-
think I identify with that. But that kind of a down. We're all going to die. God, I hope so.
Yeah. So like I really thought it was done very well to the point where like there was just enough humor, right?
Yes.
Because it wasn't too over the top, it wasn't campy. Like you just had intense action, people exploding, faces being thrown, and then here's King Shark. Oh,
Right.
look at him. He's funny. Like you get that moment to breathe.
And
Which can we talk about King Shark?
Sylvester Stallone did a fantastic
I
job.
loved him. I loved him so much. And like to the point where like they're all in the club having fun and getting to know each other. And he's sitting in the bus alone. I'm like, King Shark.
Picking his
aw."
tooth and just sitting there in the bus alone. Yeah, and
So good.
And I mean, even the stuff of in the woods trying to eat Ratcatcher and then be like, I have no friends. Like,
Right.
boy.
I'll be
He'll
your
eat me.
friend.
But then, like, he rips that guy in half. He's
Mhm.
eating people throughout there. Like, he's got that. But again, with the humor, he's like, I'll wear a mustache. And you're like,
It's like, I'll go in disguise.
this is so good. They did a good job of balancing the humor with the gore, a humor with the action. They
and that's what
found-
James Gunn is good.
the
I mean,
beats.
James Gunn is good at that stuff.
Yeah.
Like but before Guardians of the Galaxy, this was what he did. These types of things and these types of movies, and some of them were really good, and some of them were a little bit too dark. I think I'm of the mindset that Super's a little dark.
I was into it, and then it got too much. I'm like, whoa, slow down. Yeah, not a big fan of Super.
But this was this good happy medium, right?
Right.
And the other thing I aspire to not aspire, but the other thing that I was saying is I'm glad I got Starro on the screen. But you don't do Starro and think you can take that shit seriously.
Yeah.
It's a concept that barely works in the comic books. And so like I love the fact that I got to see this.
Right.
And it was a little tongue in cheek and it was a little funny and it was a little over the top, and I'm okay with that because cool. I got a giant alien starfish.
There's the I'm going to reference, and again, you know the name of the creator, and I'm so sorry. The guy who does the pitch meetings on YouTube.
Ryan George, I believe
Yes,
his name is.
he did a pitch meeting for this movie, and at the end, they do the I was content with floating in space and staring at the sky. I'm like, did you just make me feel emotions for a starfish with one line? With one line, you made me feel real emotions for it. How dare you?
I mean, I thought all of that stuff was very well done.
And that was another interesting part too, where the villain in this movie moves, right? Like there's the antagonist, but like what's the big bad? And it's
but that's the thing. They're all villains.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And
I'm so happy
that's
with
the
this.
nice thing.
I had to pin this down.
They're all just varying degrees of bad.
Right. Including
you're not supposed to like any of them.
Including the people that you're following. Even Polka Dot Man. Like everybody, you're just
Polka
like
Dot Man, because like I mean,
I turned them into my mother and then I killed them. Oh fuck! This guy would kill anybody.
Right, this guy would. And you know, I'm not being deep by saying, oh, this is Amanda Waller is really the villain, and like no, she's probably the worst out of the bunch.
Right.
The movie is very upfront about that.
Yes, it is.
But like even to your point, by proxy, everyone in that room is still a villain.
Correct.
Even the people who, great, you stood up to her.
But they were taking bets on the other side when this movie started.
At the beginning of the movie, they were like, oh, how many people are going to make it? And like, and you stood up to her once. How many missions did you not stand up to her? How many people did you let her explode their heads? How many countries did we leave in shambles because Waller said it was fine. So like, there are no heroes in this film.
No, and just like when everybody dies in the beginning, they're like, "All right, squad 2," like they turn the chair, please. Like there's no, so there really is.
Get me the screen up on squad 2. So we're talking a lot about the. I'm sorry, I'm interrupted.
No,
you.
no,
Go
no.
ahead.
I was just gonna say it was nice to kind of go with where do we need to go, right? Who is the bad I have to concentrate on now? In the sense of this story could just go where it wanted to go, and I was along the ride with it. I was ready to go for it. Is it the dictators? Is it the starfish? Is it the thinker? Is it peacekeeper? Is it actually the sorry, thank you. Is it actually the whole Suicide Squad? Like, just go on and tell me the story, and I'll figure out who I like at the end. I'll see who survives, then I'll come to it, and then after I like them, I'll be like, they're all a-holes. What a bunch of a-holes.
They're all terrible, and that's the point.
Yeah,
like you got to the end. Yes, a town was saved. Yes, a starfish was defeated.
Right.
Yes, a dictatorship was overthrown. Not part of their mission.
Right.
Complete happenstance that happened.
Yep.
Because Harley Quinn is freaking crazy.
Yeah.
And she just happened to be there and said, you know what? I'm going to shoot this guy. So before we delve in, like we mentioned him a couple times, I want to talk about Peacemaker. I want to talk about John Cena.
Yeah.
Because the more I see John Cena in movies, the more I'm like, this guy is great. I really like him. And I like him more in the comedic roles than anything else. Like F9, he was fine. He was good. But he is so good in this film. And so the entire conversation between, if this beach was filled with dicks and I was asked to eat every one of them for freedom, I would gobble them up. I would eat every single one. Like, I was crying laughing at that exchange. Not because the vision of a beach full of dicks is hilarious, and it is, but his delivery of that entire monologue was
because he's playing it straight. He's like, I would fucking eat a bag of dicks.
Yeah.
John Cena has been making his debut in these humorous roles by playing against type, very similar to like the Rock as the Tooth Fairy, right? And some of that stuff. And
yeah, I think it's a little
it is a little different. Yeah. I don't mind.
John Cena did that too. He did Playing with Fire.
Say this.
Let's remove.
Yes, he did do Playing with Fire. This. I like John Cena in these roles. I do not seek out John Cena. John Cena was not a selling point for this movie. John Cena was there, and he earned his respect, I guess, from me.
I would say I would agree with you, but this movie is making me think I want to see this guy in more stuff.
See, for me,
that's the thing.
He has to earn it. When he has to earn it in the movie. Every single time I see him, he has to earn it for me. I'm not there yet.
I don't think so. I think I'm at the point where if I see John Cena's in a movie and it is advertised as a comedy, I'm going to go see it. Did you see Blockers?
No.
He's very good in it.
Yeah. I
see Blockers.
I'll see. He has to earn it for me. But I do like the character that it does. And because here's the other part too. When he does have to go the twist and he does have that nefarious side and he becomes evil, it's a nice progression. Like he's doing a good job, and you see, and
you buy it.
Like, yeah, and that's it.
Villain.
Exactly.
That's
this guy is a dick.
He did very well,
right?
You know, and like here's the thing: with every single one of these people, these characters, these varying degrees of villains, they all think they're doing the right thing, and you're like, I see your point, but you're an asshole about it.
Yep.
Right? Like, okay, I get it. We can't let these secrets get out. Don't be a dick. You know? So like, and even at the end, like Flag died because he was tired of being the puppet and keeping these secrets.
Yeah.
And what happens at the end? We just used it to blackmail Waller. We're still going to bury the secrets.
Yep.
Nothing got resolved. We didn't send it to the press.
Yeah.
And we all moved, like Waller gets what she wants.
Yeah. Exactly.
Begrudgingly, she still gets what she wants. If
this movie's about preserving, the American freedom and all that good stuff, we lost, right? Like we didn't get to find out the truth. We get lied to. We get covered up, and we lost. And the bad guys win. The bad guys win in this movie. And you're but the funny thing is, until you think about it, you're like, yay! But the bad guys won. The people who live in that island, who live in that country, they lost. A lot of people got taken over. A lot of people got killed. Like there's another form of government in charge. Like we lost, but you still feel like you won. It's a really weird feeling for it. So that there's a lot that we like about this movie. Although there are a lot of tropes, I gotta tell you, the whole blood sport falling through each level of the building, only to end up on the exact level where Ratcatcher 2 and Peacemaker are. I'm just sitting there going, I understand. I understand this is a movie, and I understand that this moment has to happen. I really wish he just was not staying on his feet the whole time. Would have been nice if he fell. Would be nice if he was hurt. But okay, I'll take it. I'll go. And like, hey, it's so bright out because it's raining that you can't see? Okay. Sure, I'll take that. It's so bright that because it's raining that they can't see the Suicide Squad run up on them at the building. All right. I'll take that. Or once the starfish comes on you, you're a corpse. Oh, you could have played the morality, though, of like killing innocent people that are being controlled by a puppet, which also sounds very allegoric to what's happening to the Suicide Squad. No, they're dead. Oh, okay.
But that's the thing, and that's the thing. Like I keep hearing in these reviews of this movie is, oh well, it comes right up against saying something about X, Y, and Z, and then it doesn't say it, and I'm like, I'm not looking for this movie to say anything.
Right? Yeah.
Besides, bad guy's bad. Let's have a little bit of fun. Like that's like really saying. Here's the thing, because the film critics that I listened to had a big bone of contention with this movie about, it presented this topic of, international relations, Americans coming into this government.
About. Yeah.
And then it never did anything with it. And I said to myself, A, I don't need this movie to say something about that.
Correct.
B, the mere fact that they staged a coup, like I said to you before, complete accident.
Yeah.
So that wasn't the intention.
Correct.
But more importantly, that is not what I need from this movie. That's like telling me I should watch a Godzilla movie and really have to think hard about the effects of nuclear warfare. But outside of the fact that Godzilla says, nuclear warfare bad, that's all you get. I just want to see Godzilla tear down some buildings. It's the same thing with this film. I want to see them just do villainous shit. And that's it.
The movie's very clear on that fact because Bloodsport, when they're traveling through the woods, I have to help my people. He's like, whoa. We are not here to help your people.
We're not here for your people. I don't care about
mission,
your people.
So we don't get blown up in the head. We are not here for your people, right? And even Rick Flag is like, we're temporarily aligned. I'm not here to help you. And he throws her the bone of, hey, well, we're at the Starfish. You maybe overthrow the government.
While we're here,
that's
you
not,
might want to do something.
Right, that's not their mission. They don't care about that and all that. All right, I do have a question for you. And to me, there was something in this movie that I listen. I enjoyed every moment of this. I'm just calling it out. There was like another Harley Quinn movie in this movie. It was just like, hey, did you like Birds of Prey? But it was very minor. Not. But it was too little Harley Quinn. Let's do another one. This is a small one. It's like a short film, if you don't mind. I was working on this the other night.
I don't mind it because let's face it, you're going to see the Suicide Squad for her. Let's be real. It's like, I don't blame the first 3 X-Men movies for being Wolverine and his friends.
That's very true. Yes.
You're going to see X-Men for Wolverine.
I go for Cyclops.
9 out of 10 people are.
Right.
9 out of 10 people are. There are people like us who care about the team, right? Who care about Cyclops and Beast and Jean Grey. But like Joe Schmo walking in off the street
the mall walkers.
Oh, right. Those people go, oh, I've heard of Wolverine. I'll go see this movie. It's the same thing with Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn's the draw. The other characters are the bonus. So I don't mind that we spend a little bit more time with her. And to be honest, we spent a lot less time with her in this movie than we did in the last one. So I'm fine. We literally, especially if you watch the director's cut, there's like a 45-minute just like her entire origin and all this other trash.
Of Suicide Squad,
of
not Birds of Prey.
Suicide Squad.
Yeah, okay.
And like way too much, right? But and like we in that first movie, we went out of our way to build a plot point where Joker is exclusively going to save Harley so that we could separate Harley so that we could spend time with her outside of the squad. This movie, we separated Harley. We spent 15 minutes with her.
Was that how long it was?
It wasn't that long.
Okay.
She is absent from the first 30 to 40 minutes of the movie. We spent 15 or 20 minutes of her being wooed by this guy and then her inevitably shooting him. And then she's back with the squad and then she stays with the squad.
It is a small detour. I don't think, to your point, it stops or slaps the momentum of the movie in any way. And you're right. Once we're done with it, we're done with it, right? We're not continuously bringing it back up or trying to throw back to that, or cut between story A, cut between story B, A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B. But it's like, all right, here's your A story. Take a little break. Here's B.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
It was going back into the A story again.
And it was one of those, you need a break, right? Like, you just spent the past 40 minutes, you watched all of Squad A get completely exploded.
Right.
Then you watch Squad B go and kill a bunch of people to rescue Rick Flag. You need a break. Here's your breather. Okay, now we're back. You know,
she's able to save her own. I love that moment though, where
that's a great moment
goes
where
through
she rescues herself.
That whole team with the javelin, right? And the flowers and the music. It's good. It's a good scene. It's a good fight scene.
Another technical, I love the birds and the flowers.
But I
have a feeling they did that because any more blood and we would have gotten
they'd be like,
NC-17.
Gunn, are you all right, bud? Like, are you okay?
No, I guarantee you, any more death decapitation, we would have gotten an NC-17. So instead, we just, hey, you know what? Here's a perfect opportunity for us to just kind of have fun, do something. It's the same reason we did an entire fight scene in Kill Bill in black and white.
Right. And I like it. And then, of course, she's like, oh, I can go back if you want to. Like, they play some comedy in there. It's like, it's a really good plan. It was a really good plan. And there's freaking blood sport on the side if you want on the side of the building, just like hanging there, just waiting. Like, oh, God damn it. So I liked it. I don't know if anyone else bumped on it. I did. I thought it was nice. And I guess to your point, it really wasn't that long, right? And it wasn't this B storyline or C storyline of the government there, the president dying, and the general taking over, and da 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 da. And
we got a badass Harley Quinn escape scene out of it, right? Like I was waiting as they're electrocuting her to just laugh in their face and be like, I dated the Joker. Like this is a Tuesday night for me. Yep. You think this is a big deal? So yeah, I was really I was vibing that, and I love the little because she becomes obsessed with the birds, which James Gunn has a thing against birds for some reason.
Does he really?
But I don't know. Okay. Have you noticed that all the birds in that movie are dead?
Well, I mean, they did kill all the birds. I didn't know if it was a...
The movie opens with Savant throwing a ball at a bird in his jail cell.
That's true, but then the bird ate Savant. The bird gets it.
True.
The bird eats Savant. The birds get their comeuppance.
Not the same bird, but a bird.
But a bird. The same species. If you look, it's the same type of bird.
I didn't notice that.
It's the same type of bird.
But anyway, I do...
Like, Savant gets his comeuppance really well. It's just like, you did. Well, guess what? The same bird is coming back to eat you. Enjoy.
Anyway, I enjoyed that whole scene. I thought it was fun. I thought it was technically interesting.
So
I didn't mind
some
it.
birds. So the finale, right? Again, really sad. I was actually like, oh, come on, when the polka dot man died. I was rooting for him. I was like, he's gonna make it out. Because that's the moment
where you think, oh, okay, these people are gonna make it. Yeah. Like this is it. You know?
Maybe somebody's gonna change. I'm a fucking superhero. Yep. All right. Well, he's gone.
Yeah.
And then now what did you think about Harley Quinn jumping into the eye of the starfish, and then the rats jumping in, and that's the reason that the starfish died? Were people shooting at the starfish eye? I don't know. What do you think about that? I wasn't
looking at that so technically to be like,
it was just a weird bullet. Well, I thought that, but I'm also me, so it's okay.
You're also you, right. And also what I would say is that
it's a weird ending to this weird movie.
The rats had to tear apart some fleshy stuff in the back, so even if they were shooting at the eye, he was probably still protected.
True. Okay, yeah.
So I'm completely fine with that. I'm also fine that we don't have this
There's no sky beam
moment. Right.
No sky beam.
No sky beam, right. But we don't have this huge moment of Harley Quinn thrusting this javelin into Starro, right?
Right, yeah.
I do like that at the end of the day, Harley Quinn wasn't exactly needed to take down Starro.
Right, yeah.
Ratcatcher is the one who does it.
She did. She saved the day.
who for the entire film, A, yeah, like she's your purity point, right? But B, you think she's pretty much ineffectual because every time she does try to do something, that little thing gets knocked out of her hand.
Yes.
Like she maybe takes down 2 people with rats, but like
she takes out a guard.
she doesn't have the body count that the other characters have.
That's true. And her crime wasn't violent. It was robbing a bank with rats.
Right.
That's what got her into prison. So like she's not a violent person, and she talks about her time in Prague. It's petty theft. I mean, it's just you steal a watch and stuff like that, and the heroin stuff. All right, but that wasn't her. So she's just one of those people. Like, why are you in like the deadly prison thing? But it was cool. It was just like, what a weird movie, and what a weird way to end this weird movie. I'm okay with this. It was just a strange choice. Again, I was watching going, that's a choice.
I was waiting, I was waiting for Gunn to completely rip my heart out and kill her. Like that was the thing that, like, if that had happened, I would have been like, nope, this movie is trash.
She was supposed to die.
Apparently that was on the table. I read that too. Yeah. I'm glad they didn't go with it. I liked the character. Yeah. I liked the actress. I liked what they did with her. I want to see more of that character.
Me too.
I'm not saying I need a Ratcatcher 2 movie.
No, please
but,
no.
Like, have her show up in another Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Have her show up in the next Birds of Prey film that we all know is coming. Like, whatever you want to do. Like, have her show up because I think she was very good. Who
played Ratcatcher 2?
Yeah, I'm looking at the cast list. It's not here. Hang on.
Because she's buried. She's buried because they had all those big celebrities at the top.
Yeah, because they had like these huge celebrities.
You have to put Nathan Fillion and everything above her.
I have to actually scroll and Ratcatcher 2, Daniela Melchior.
Yeah.
She done anything else that I would know of? No, not really.
No, she did not. Looks like it's all French movies.
Yeah, it looks like she's done a lot of stuff overseas. Anyway, I'd love to see her in more stuff. I think she was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, like all in all, man, like here's the thing. We've been singing this movie's praises for a couple of different reasons, but like
I've got
nothing that we've talked about or like this was an amazing movie. It was good. It was well done. They did some really cool things. I love the shot of while Rick Flag and Peacemaker are fighting, that it's all shown in the reflection of Peacemaker's helmet. Like, I love that shot, right? Like, but I don't know. All of this stuff is good stuff. It's nothing that's just like elevates anything to like the ultimate level, to this is the upper echelon of movies like this.
There was one other thing that was like, that's a choice. And I'm curious how you felt about it, which is the chapter titles, I guess I would say, where they're
I loved it.
Bring Me the Suicide Squad's Head, Operation Harley, like the next day. And now these little things of environment to tell stuff in the story. You like that? Okay.
You know
what was that supposed to? Is that like a new chapter, or is this comic book stuff?
It is the comic book on screen, right?
Right.
Like you are reading a page and you're like, we're gonna go here, and then the next page is here. Like we're there. Meanwhile, like here, like in a caption, like Operation Harley. Like it's.
I was so into this being a James Gunn movie that I was like,
you forgot it was a comic book movie.
Yeah, I forgot it was a comic book. I just thought it was a superhero, but it's not a comic book. Yes.
But even at the end, it's like Starro versus the Suicide Squad. Like
correct.
That shit's on a comic book cover.
Yeah, you're right.
Right. So like,
wow, why am I so dumb?
Stuff.
I'm so stupid. Duh. Oh my god, I feel like fucking it. You know why? It's because Marvel doesn't do that shit.
But that's the thing, though. You can't do that in a Marvel movie.
No, you can't. It's because it's grounded.
You can get away with that in this movie.
I think you get away with this in Birds of Prey. You probably could have got away with it in the original Suicide Squad. You could get away with it in this one. I don't know if you could get away with it in anything from Snyder. I don't think you could do that in Man of Steel.
I don't think Snyder has enough of a sense of humor to do anything like that. No, I'm not knocking Snyder.
No,
he's got a.
You should. He doesn't have a very good sense of humor.
He's got a very particular style, and like this is not that.
Right.
The man is very cinematic and comic booky in his shots,
You gave me a
What?
great segue. Keep going. This is the segue to get into what we just talked about about the comic book stuff.
The man is very good and he's very cinematic and comic booky in his shots, right? Like the shot of Aquaman like walking on that pier and the waves crashing around him, right? The shot of Superman like
the
floating
hero shot.
down.
He's good at the hero
shot,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
He's great at that stuff.
Not
and
the aesthetic stuff, not the.
But yeah, like
that's
the
a comic
nuanced
book.
stuff,
Right.
the
panel work, right? Like, oh, that's a panel.
That's not him.
Yeah.
So like, and like in order to do that, you've gotta have this tongue-in-cheek sense of humor.
Right.
James Gunn has that, and it's all over all of his movies, but it's also in Guardians. This little tongue-in-cheek kind of fun that he's having with the movie.
Yeah.
It's just more apparent in this film because, yeah, let's face it, I love Guardians, but there are certain things that James Gunn brings to the table, and there are certain things that this is the Disney Marvel aesthetic. You have to follow these rules, and then James Gunn works his stuff in that mold.
Right. And they're just like, oh, you broke the rule, but you know what? It looks really cool. All right, look, you're allowed. All right, James.
Yeah, I mean, I think
huh?
I think Marvel's allowing more and more of that as time goes on. But
to be fair, he introduced space. Like James Gunn is the one who did space, where he's like, this is different than all your Earth stuff. I'm allowed to have a little bit more fun.
Right, but like here's the thing. And we're going to talk about Marvel for a second, but I mean this in regards to all comic book movies. In 2008, it was not cool to like comic books. Even in 2002, when Spider-Man was the biggest thing, it was like, oh, okay, Spider-Man's all right, but comic books are lame.
Correct.
For any of these movies to be taken seriously, you had to have a decade of, we have to fit into a certain mold. We need to make this aspire to make this appeal to the wider audience. Otherwise, we don't get anymore.
Yeah.
That's why you have the X-Men in black leather. That's why you have the first 15 or so Marvel movies very grounded in reality. Very much like, I can see this happening.
Correct.
Because you needed to get people's buy-in. And we have had 10 years of Marvel movies where we have done that. People are bought into the characters now. They're bought into the comic book aesthetic. We've changed people's minds of, I can understand that this movie with Captain America ties into this movie with Iron Man and ultimately leads to this movie in the Avengers. And we've changed people's ways of thinking, of watching movies in terms of, now you're thinking like a comic book reader. Now you're thinking like, I can read these 10 titles and have it culminate in Infinity Gauntlet. But now we can start getting a little crazy. Let's have a little fun.
And then there's me, who forgot that this was a comic book movie.
And then there's you.
And I'm supposed to know that. I'm one of the people who's supposed to go, that's why they put the title thing. Not just because James Gunn was being cute, because it's a comic book, you dumb idiot. Anyway.
But the thing is, we can have fun. That's where this movie fits in. That's where Thor Ragnarok fits in. That's where Guardians fits in.
Everybody else picked up on that but me. So it's okay. I was the only person who forgot about that. I put this, we're going to redo our thoughts on that. I put this movie in maybe as the number one spot for DC movies. I know that this movie, it's not, okay. We know I'm not a fan of a lot of the Snyder stuff. We get this. But I like this more than Birds of Prey. I like this more than the original Suicide Squad. I like this more than Shazam. I put this up there.
Oh, I forgot about Shazam. Shazam is probably one of the. I honestly would put Shazam above.
Shazam is like they just let them have fun. They just let them get to the go ahead and be silly. But then they're like, you're too silly. Stop it. And this movie was just like, you want to be fucking silly? You want to be really silly? All right, you can be really silly. Sylvester Stallone's a shark? All right, yeah, go ahead. You do whatever you need to do. So, but this goes in the number one spot for me.
It's definitely in the top 3 for me. But like
it's a floating top 3 for you.
It's never, a floating like you know.
Fluid.
My
it's
top 3 is always changing when it comes to DC, depending on my mood, depending on how much shit they want to try. Like honestly, like a little bit. Wonder Woman 1984 put Wonder Woman down a little bit in my brain, and that's just me. But like I respect the outing. I think it was good. I don't think it was amazing. I don't think this was DC's turning point. I don't think this was, oh, they finally got one right. I think it was an enjoyable
See,
film.
for me, I think, they finally got one. They finally got one right. They finally remembered that they're making comic book movies and that this should be a little bit of silly, a little bit of fun, but also should have some stakes and should balance this. And Superman doesn't murder people.
I don't think DC will get that from me unless they completely decide to tear it all down and start from scratch.
Here's the $1 million question. Actually, it's probably, I don't know what this film grossed, but whatever this film grosses and budgeted and how much money it makes. They got James Gunn on a technicality, and James Gunn is back at Marvel. Do you get him back for another movie? Is there someone that can pick up this wacky torch that he left that can run with it? Or is this gone because they're not going to get James Gunn again?
Well, just because he's doing Guardians 3, I don't think Marvel has any exclusive rights to him. So
you think DC's going to call him back up?
I mean, I think being as so let's put this into.
Get me the money, Brian.
I'm trying to find it.
Well, I want to know just what it. I just want to know what it's made versus.
Listen, here's the thing. Forget about that for a second.
You're right. I'm sorry, it's 2021. I have to forget about this.
Forget about that for a second. Every single movie that comes out this year is a wash.
That's right.
You are either breaking even if you're lucky or losing money.
Yeah, you're
Every
right.
studio understands this and knows this. So really what they're doing and Black Widow broke even in the best case scenario. I don't know how much they spent on marketing. Best case scenario between Disney Plus money and box office money, factor in the legal fees that they're going to lose after this lawsuit with ScarJo, they maybe broke even at best case scenario. What studios are doing right now is we've got to figure out how to evolve. We're going to take a bath and we're going to test out how this simultaneous launching on streaming, on theaters, how does this work for us? How can we make money from this and continue to do what we do? So I'm pulling up the Rotten Tomatoes score right now. The critics' tomato meter, 91% on this film, audience 83. That is leaps and bounds above a ton of DC films. Yeah. I think the only one that,
on IMDb, it's a 7.5. For that, it's actually gone up in popularity a little bit at the time of this recording. And that's a 7.5 out of 10. With over $100,000 votes and stuff. So
to put that in perspective, Joker, which won an Academy Award,
right?
68% of critics, 88 audience. Let's look at Wonder Woman.
The Wonder Woman.
The first Wonder Woman, which grossed $1 billion.
Can't look at 84. That's right. It cost
not looking at 84.
What did you just say?
The first Wonder Woman got like $1 billion after international.
I thought you said it cost $1 billion. I was like,
no, grossed $1 billion.
Shit.
Rotten Tomatoes, critics 93, audience 83.
Okay.
So this movie is being received almost as well as Wonder Woman, which we know netted Warner Brothers $1 billion.
Right.
So I'm not Warner Brothers. If I'm not calling up James Gunn to say, what can you do for us next? Then frankly, you're a bunch of idiots.
Well,
and here's the thing.
If there's any studio that's proven that they're a bunch of idiots, it's Warner Brothers.
He's not exclusive to Disney. He doesn't have any sort of exclusivity contract. He's there to do Guardians 3. And frankly, I don't know what his relationship with Disney and Marvel is right now. If I were him, I would be just like, I'm going to finish my story and then I'm out. Like, clearly, like I get what you did, but like he doesn't have any ties to that company. The only ties he has is to the cast, to the story.
That's true. He is married to the cast and the story that's telling. And they may just be like, hey, listen, you can come in and make a Guardians film whenever you want. And just keep the door open
if I'm Warner Brothers, I'm gonna sit here and be like, all right, James, he's filming Guardians 3 now.
Yeah.
So like, listen, once you're done with Guardians, come tell us what you want to do next. Let's set something up. Like I'd put the next Birds of Prey movies in his hands. I think
I think he'd be great with that. Yeah, I think he'd do good with Harley. So again, we, as Brian said eloquently, and you said it the best, we've been seeing the praise of this movie. However, just in the scope of movie, this is a good movie. I would not be telling mall walkers, right? As we jokingly refer to them here, you have to see this.
I
movie.
mean, if anybody is even walking malls,
if there's
anymore.
a mall,
are there any theaters in malls anymore? Because remember,
no.
like that used to be the thing.
So the one that I went to, they tore down the mall but kept the movie theater. The mall is gone.
Because it's a mall.
They kept
no one
the
wants
movie
malls
theater,
anymore.
and the movie theater was attached to the mall. It's such a weird experience. But anyway, no, they're not. But you're right. I don't think I would pin down anybody that I'm talking to right now. I'd be like, you have to go see this, right? That I think, hey, you may enjoy this, but like, I don't think you have to go see this. So it was a very good movie. I'm very excited to see if anything comes from this. But more importantly, really hope someone at Warner Brothers went, oh, when we kind of like lighten up a little bit, literally too, we can probably make people happier to watch our movies. We should do that. Let's have a little fun with our superhero movies again. Let's let them be superheroes. So if we're gonna let the villains be villains, let's let the superheroes be superheroes. Alrighty. Any final thoughts from you?
Nope, I'm good. Said it all.
Alrighty. Thank you, listener, for making us your walk around your neighborhood, your drive to work, or whatever it is that we are in your life. And we will see you on the next episode.
Well, welcome to the club, because you are that kind of nerd.
Welcome.
Current CJ hates editing CJ.
Son of a bitch. See, here's the fun part. Editing CJ will actually have a haircut by then, and it won't be this floppy do bullshit. That's
Sunday Brian will also have a haircut.
Oh, look at that, CJ.
Oh my God, we're getting haircuts at the same day.
We'll both have haircuts.
Oh my goodness, we should text each other while we're in the chair.
I'm probably going to get mine tomorrow.
What time are you getting yours tomorrow?
Oh, I don't know. I'm kind of open. So
I've already made my appointment. I'll be there at 1. You should just text me. We'll text each other.
All right, I'll try to get it at 1 o'clock.
There. We'll just text each other while we're in the chair.
Texty. All right.
Texty.
Ooh. I had it.
Sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm really not.